I remember the first time that I actually accepted Jesus Christ personally. I was in high school, actually, when I went on a retreat. I think I was about 17 or 18 years old when I first let Jesus Christ in. I went to a Catholic school all my life, so I was raised with going to church and praying and living a religious lifestyle with a strict education. But on this retreat, I and other students, for the first time, really, I was faced with this question that I never really heard before. Are you willing to accept Jesus personally? I'd gone to church. I had gone through the motions. I had gone to it because of what I was expected to do. And, that was part of what the standard that was put on me. But we were faced with this prospect I was faced with this prospect of, do you really accept me personally? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to let me in? Not because your parents want you to, not because your school tells you to, not because anybody is forcing you to, but because God wants to draw me into an exclusive relationship with him, to be my source of strength and my source of rest. And amazingly, I did, thankfully. I actually thought about my life in terms of making something of myself and my own accomplishments. All of my life, I had learned, perseverance and hard work. And I always seemed to be the guy that worked harder than everybody else, but only stayed on the average, put in all the extra time and energy. I was limited in my academic capability, athletic capability, my social capability, and I was tired. I was really, had this mentality that I had to work and make something of myself. But when I accepted Jesus Christ, I just was so tired that I gave it up to him. And he came in, and it was this huge weight off my shoulders for the first time. I actually cried because it was like, and it sounds silly, but I felt lighter. Like I felt like all the pressure was off me to perform ever again. Now I had a Father in heaven. I had a mediator in Jesus Christ. My life was no longer all on my own, but he was with me and he was going to help me because I let him in. Literally felt lighter. Later on, many years later, I actually read the Bible and the part where Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are tired and weary, and I will give you rest." And I thought, oh yeah, yep, that's me. I was tired. I would love to say that from then on, I lived faithfully and I've lived purely. But the reality is I didn't. Unfortunately, I chose many times, especially in my college days, what we talked about in last week's message. I chose the lust of the eyes. I chose the lust of the flesh. I chose the pride of life. In many failures, I realized that I wasn't living life to the fullest because I had forgotten that I had this identity as a child of God. I hadn't fully understood what this eternal salvation really meant and how to live out. So even though I accepted Jesus Christ personally back in the fall of 2002 at that retreat, now in 2020, 36 years old, I feel like I'm rediscovering this for the first time, to embrace this identity as a child of God and life by the Spirit. It's a lifelong thing. You don't have to wait that long like I did. You can choose to embrace this identity here today and live a life of fruitfulness in him and his lavish love, and to know God intimately as much as you choose to know him. How deeply do you want to know him? How much does he mean to you to allow him in your life, to guide you, and to know the truth, and to know his lavish love? He won't deny anything that will deepen his relationship with you when you ask him, when you embrace him, when you cry out to him. He won't deny you anything that you truly need in him in this life today. He knows all of your needs from top to bottom. You might not get exactly what you want in him. A father doesn't always allow the child to have what they want all the time. Understand that there will be times in your life where you will have to be humble, where the answer will be no. And you'll have to realize and you'll have to accept that, and you'll have to understand that God is in your life saying no because he's guiding you for something that you truly need, not necessarily what you truly